This is the Weather Xtreme video for Saturday, August the 7th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters, and it was a rather stormy day across central Alabama yesterday, and lots of people got some rain. In fact, a lot of people got some significant rain. I got 2.26 inches of rain after being missed for several days. Let's take a look at our Skycam imagery this morning. Here's a look at Trussville, and you can see the effects of some of that moisture. Look at the fog down below on the ground level, and then we've got some clouds left over from those thunderstorms yesterday. You can see a little bit of fog in the valleys looking for Mount Cheahaw and a little bit of high cirrus clouds, and then just a really pretty morning shot from Dauphin Island down there on the Alabama Gulf Coast. The frontal system that brought us increased chances for showers yesterday is still with us, and I think we'll still see some isolated storms, but the greatest threat is likely to be in South Alabama today as that front pretty much washes out. We're still dealing with the ridge and the trough. The trough is beginning to move off to the east, and the ridge will build back in again, bringing us another warm week ahead. Speaking of warmth, it is rather warm across the central part of the United States and a little bit cooler in New England, as you see some 40s up there in the New England states. No 40s in central Alabama, unfortunately. I'd love to see some low temperatures like that, but we're generally running in the lower and mid 70s with a few spots staying still around the upper 70s. I see Birmingham and Montgomery at 77. The QPF chart indicates as the frontal boundary has sagged a little further south that the greatest threat over the next couple of days is going to be down along the Gulf Coast with a combination of that frontal boundary and the sea breeze effects. Storm Prediction Center outlooking a slight risk for severe that includes parts of North Dakota, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. And then that area shifts a little bit further to the east and drops a little south as the westerlies continue well to our north. The Hurricane Center is watching Colin, which is really struggling. And then there's two other areas, one out in the central South Atlantic, and then one over the Western Caribbean. There's Colin, and you can see the thunderstorms with it. The convection is definitely much less, and the center not quite as open, but certainly covered by some cirrus. And there's the National Hurricane Center's plot for where Colin is headed, and no better than a weak tropical storm at best. And then this is the area out in the south central Atlantic, and it has got a lot of convection, but at the moment no strong signs of any organization coming along right now. All right, this is a 06C GFS model run, and as you can see from the surface map for today, basically across north and central Alabama, the amount of showers should be down quite a bit as the focus is a little further to our south. As I said earlier, the ridge is building back in, and so the ridge begins building back in on Sunday, so we expect temperatures to climb back up into the upper 90s for the most part, and with very few showers, again, mostly from about Clanton southward as the greatest threat area. The 594 contour, giving us an idea of the strength of the ridge, builds back in strongly on Monday. So once again, we're going to be coming up against that 100-degree mark, and the 594 contour stays with us on Tuesday. So once again, the heat still on. We begin to see a little bit of signs of it breaking down again on Wednesday the 11th. As you see, the 594 contour has shifted off towards the Four Corners area as we have a couple of strong ripples coming through the westerlies, and one of those ripples is actually, those ripples in general are going to continue to build the trough a little bit, deepen the trough over the eastern half of the country, so that Thursday we have a little bit. The ridge is still off to the west, but we have a little bit lower height values. Not an appreciable change, but maybe getting us at least a little bit away from the 100-degree mark, and with the possibility of some isolated showers as a front at least gets dragged down this direction. The 594 continues over centered over the Four Corners area on Friday, and you can see that the trough over the eastern part of the country is beginning to deepen just a little bit, and there comes another impulse that is helping to intensify that trough, and so that eventually by Sunday we set up a trough, a fairly strong trough, over the eastern half of the country. And of course, if that's true, then we're going to see a pretty substantial drop in heights, and so that should take us back into the at least lower 90s, along with some pretty good chances for some rain. All right, looking out into voodoo country, the ridge just keeps hanging in there, and there it is again on the 19th, Thursday the 19th of August. And while not quite as strong, we can see general ridging over the southern tier of the United States way out around the 22nd of August. Well, thanks for tuning in to the Weather Xtreme video. Expect to have the next one posted by 7:30 or 8 tomorrow morning. In the meantime, I hope that you have a great Saturday, and Godspeed.
Each day there are new stories to tell about the people who live here and the place we call home.
All of the faces that I see, all of the places close to me, they're all part of all the best things about home.
Sharing your stories on ABC 3340, Alabama's news leader.